What's up? How's everybody doing? All right, let me just kind of get this into a comfortable spot for me personally. There it is. All right. Glad to have you all in here. Let me go ahead and get my chat log all set up. What do you guys think of the new camera? Huh? Eh? Eh? That's right. I got a new camera, guys. A new high definition camera. This thing is called the BRIO. And it had a lot of good reviews. It had a decent price tag to it. And my father, because I contacted my father recently. And I basically told him that, hey, like, you know, I really think that I finally need to upgrade my camera. Do you think you have any suggestions? And this was the camera that he suggested for me. And it felt appropriate because I have been a very, very good boy. A very, very good boy. And with all of my wonderful, lovely Patreons who are constantly supporting me and funding the channel, which I greatly appreciate, you guys, seriously. The money that I had collected for the channel from the Patreon members, which I greatly appreciate, allowed me to purchase this very nice, higher quality camera, which you guys are able to see me through now. And it took a bit of jury rigging. It actually came in yesterday. I just didn't have the time to set it up. But I spent a good portion of today setting it up because today is also a day off for me. I'm going to catch up on the chat log just a little bit, just a wee bit. We had James P. who came in first, and I offered him a cookie for being such a good boy. Ratherwood is in here. We got Cinder Shadow. We got my good friend Miss Beautiful Zoorox. We got the beautiful, lovely Miss Maz. And we also have... That's it. I thought there was another name in there. I just kind of skimmed it real quick, guys. So yeah, I thought that the best way to properly test out what this camera is capable of doing is, I thought that the best thing that I could do was to do a podcast so that you guys could get the full view and really, really see how high quality this camera is. And I personally think it seems amazing because one of the things that I bet you guys don't notice right away, let me double check on my side. Yeah. So, I don't have any of my lighting rigs up, you guys. Normally when I was using my previous camera, it had an issue with controlling the brightness and light levels. And this camera has its own unique, like, brightness control in it that is much better than the previous camera I was using. And, I'm surprised that it's so clear and, like, you know, just lots of clarity and it looks so great that, I didn't even set up my lighting rig, which is fantastic, you know? Because sometimes it's a little wee bit pain in the butt to control the lighting rig and all that. It kind of gets on my nerves sometimes. Let's see. Zoo says, right when I have 2 meetings. I'm sorry, Zoo. I hope you can either hang out with us or catch us on the backlog if you need to. Maz says, Habs in HD is so scary. What are you talking about? Talking about this beautiful, sexy face? It can't possibly be scary to you, Maz. You love it and you know it. Shut up. Zoo says, it looks great. I'll enjoy for maybe the 4 minutes I can. Well, thank you, Zoo. I appreciate having you here. Radwood says, watch out, there's a creeper behind you. Yeah, he's kicking it. That's another thing. You guys could probably see the display a little bit better, can't you? I got all my cool little knickknacks that make me look like the true nerd that I actually am. Usually all these collectibles are hidden around in various areas of the house, but because of, you know, I'm trying to spiff everything up and make it look nicer around here, I got a nice little collection going on here. Matt says, you sound loads better on my new phone. Got way better speakers. That's pretty cool. Glad to hear you got a new phone, girl. Cinder Shadow is sticking his tongue out at me. Don't you stick your tongue out at me. Bleh! Let's stick my tongue out at you. Eyes popping, Habs. Absolutely. I do that expression a lot, and it's actually funny because a lot of the time when my eyes seem like they're like popping out of their sockets, I don't even realize that I'm doing it because I have my eyes are actually very sensitive to light. So a lot of the time, like, my eyes will get really wide and huge, and I won't realize I'm doing it, and it's literally because my eyeballs are trying to get more light because I can't, you know, they're either trying to receive more light or, like, they're trying to not have as much light. And I'm kind of in a darker room right now because I'm not using my lighting rig, so my eyes are like, feed me light, you know? Ratherwood says, so you're not frying under hot lamps. Well, I mean, the lights are actually not that bad. They're LEDs. They don't get really hot or anything. I'll probably still need them for various things, but I just thought I'd try out doing this, you know, podcast stream, a lounge cast, without my lighting rig. And so far it seems pretty good, as far as I can tell. Maz says she sees the little Jigglypuff. Yeah, I got my little stuffed up Jiggly. I've actually had that Jigglypuff since I was a very small child. I played Pokemon way back in the 90s, back when it's brand spanking new. And that was given to me as a gift a long time ago. So I've had that for a long time. And also the little Pokemon figurines are also like little toys I've had since I was a small child. So some of them are roughed up and some of them are still in good condition. Hey, it's my stepmommy. Hi, stepmommy. Good to see you. That A. Resnick, that's my stepmommy. I'm using the new camera. If Dad is not in the chat, tell it, or not watching, tell him to come see me on the new camera. It actually came in yesterday, and it was funny. I was telling my dad, hey, I have a warehouse. Like, there's an Amazon warehouse near me, so I wouldn't be surprised if it either came a day early or came the day of. And this camera was supposed to arrive today, and it arrived yesterday. So that was super cool. And I got to, you know, spend today setting it up. So, you know, now that we're kind of, like, done marveling over the camera, which I absolutely adore, I had to kind of rig it up a little funky, because I'm using my old camera rig just with the new camera on it, and it's a little funkalicious. I'm thinking about possibly buying a tripod or something, but that might have to wait, depending on how things are going. But I did kind of want to talk about some things that are... he's on, and he says it's nice resolution. Awesome. So I did want to kind of talk about some interesting things. So I kind of told you guys a little bit about my financial situation and how I've been kind of making a lot of changes around here, especially with the channel, and my frequent activity on the channel, and how I'm kind of trying to build my life around that. And it's good news. It's not bad news. I promise you guys. Hey, Cobalt, glad to have you in here, buddy. So I have basically pretty much just good news, and you guys might have noticed that I've been kind of talking about how I've been constantly busy, constantly exhausted. In fact, actually, that's why I'm taking today off, is because I was so exhausted last night that I pretty much, after I had gotten everything done, including the stream, I was just out. Like, I basically, like, set up to watch Mike Hatcher's stream. I turned it on, laid back on my couch, and I didn't even watch it because I just passed out. I was so exhausted yesterday. And for the majority I also put on Cinder Shadow's stream last night, and I passed out. Like, I was so exhausted. And the reason why is because I have been job hunting nonstop for hours and hours and hours on end. And not because I'm scared. Like I said, guys, I am seeing more of myself as being on a vacation rather than unemployed. And that's important to know because I actually had I stashed away money. I was very comfortable with it. And I was like, I'm going on vacation. And that vacation is dedicated towards working on the channel. And as you guys can see, lots of great things have happened on this channel because I made that choice. However, I also realized that, yes, I have this entire month to do whatever the hell I feel like, but I also want to be very comfortable financially. Like, yes, I'm on vacation. Yes, I'm fine, but I needed to make sure that I had some form of stability, or otherwise I'm going to have trouble sleeping at night, clearly. So this week has been dedicated towards me getting my overall situation towards finding a new job all situated. And it has gone spectacularly, guys. I've been taking a lot of risks with reaching out towards different kinds of jobs that I don't have experience in. And let's see. I basically have been kind of like looking for different jobs. I'm primarily looking for online jobs. I basically decided that there's a couple of factors involving my physical condition, my overall health, my overall mental health, obviously, and also the focus around the channel, which means that if I really want to dedicate myself in the way that I'm trying so hard to do with the amazing results that I've been getting, it means that I need to find something that is going to be able to fit in that lifestyle that I'm building for myself currently. And I even took some precautions to also pick and look at some other things that are within my original range of skills. In other words, jobs where I would have to not be working at home and go out into the real world and go and work a real job. And I also, for anybody who was wondering, if you guys were in yesterday's Pokemon stream, if you guys were there for the entirety of it, if not, don't worry about it, it's okay. You guys might remember that I had a phone call come up in the middle of my stream. And I realized, oh my god, this could be an important phone call, but I'm clearly in the middle of something. I will give them a call back. They'll probably understand. Everything should be fine. I did mention that I have an agent, who is, I have not spoken to him for quite some time, but I'm also very aware that, he is capable of working with me because he's a very good guy, and, he enjoys, working with me from the past anyways. And I knew that if I kind of contacted him out of the blue, hopefully he wouldn't mind. That phone call that I received last night in the middle of the stream was my agent. Actually, I believe that he might have set me up with somebody else, but the point is that was my agent calling me back to try and organize some work for me, which is wonderful because he's a very flexible dude who understands me very well, and I'm sure that with the new setup and qualifications that I have now, he just wouldn't mind working with me. So I actually have not heard back from that agent yet. I called the agent last night after the stream was over, and I also called them today, and they have not gotten back to me. But I made sure to make sure that everything was okay and everything was fine. I believe it is. You guys might be surprised to know, I'm an extremely professional person. It was, my father, raised me on professionalism. So I'm a very professional person who knows how to speak with employers and coworkers and things like that. And I'm very good at climbing corporate ladders. So I do believe that I should be in contact with that agent fairly soon, within a few days or so. And I'm really hoping that they might be able to find me something that is relatively stable. However, I might not even need to worry about my agent contacting me. And I might not even have to worry about taking a job that is outside of the comfort zone that I'm building for myself. Because one of the very interesting online jobs that is very fruitful looking, and also, from what I can see, would basically pay more than what I was originally asking for, contacted me this morning and told me that they were very interested in my application, and they wanted to contact me and see if I was further interested in pursuing the position. Now, the position, which I'm very excited about because I think that it's something that I'd be very good at, and I know that I was talking to you guys about a voice acting position earlier. That one has not contacted me back yet, which is fine. This particular position is basically a position where I would be hired to basically they basically would send me products, like a variety of different kinds of products, for free. And my job would basically be to use the product as they describe or explain to me, and then do a review on the product, and then post that to their website, which is apparently a site dedicated for product reviews. And I have a lot of skills involving myself with basically talking with people like I am online right now, because they explained that the reviews could be involved with video reviews. They also explained that it could be involved with essay reviews. And both of those things I am actually very good at, and I'm very aware that I'm very good at it, because I used to do that stuff in high school, and I even did it a few times for past employers. So if that job works out, I am very excited, and I'm very impressed with how fast they contacted me. Apparently they really liked what I had to say when I first went out to them about the job. And it is ideal because, first of all, it will pay me something that I could definitely survive off of, and possibly even make more money than I need in order to survive. So I'm very excited about that. And I do like to keep a lot of certain things private in my life, especially when it comes to my financial situation. But I'm also very aware that a lot of you guys, you guys kind of know the situation I'm in, and I know you guys can sometimes be a little concerned about my overall well-being, and I appreciate that. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up that I'm not in any trouble. In fact, what I've done is I'm currently, like I said, I'm basically on vacation right now. I'm currently in a situation where I'm not in any financial trouble whatsoever. I can hang out and do whatever I feel like for at least a month, and I've already built myself a safety net underneath all that. Like, based on the sense of, like, okay, well, even though I have this nice cushion to, like, survive off of for a while, I also now have a job that I can probably jump into, and I also have some other backup jobs. Like, for example, I'm aware that the positions that I looked into that are around town, even though that's not what I ideally want, they've already accepted my applications. They're currently reviewing them. That's a good sign. And on top of that, I have all these other internet positions that seemed like they would fit, and I wouldn't be surprised if they contact me within the next few days. And mind you, most of the work I've done was in yesterday, pretty much. Well, actually, the last 2 days. It's been such a short amount of time, and I'm already getting callbacks, and the agent and all that. So, guys, I'm feeling amazing. Like, I don't... And it's funny because I was actually... forcefully stressing myself out the last few days, and I'm actually paying for it. One of the reasons why I'm taking today off is because, like I told you guys last night, I had worked so hard on all these things that I was talking about that I was physically and mentally exhausted, and I passed out like multiple times last night when I was done doing all the work that I was doing. Just from mental and just mostly from mental exhaustion. I put in a lot of work, guys. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to translate that, because I can't show you guys what I was working on, but I've been working my ass off for the last 2 days. And I mean, I was even talking to Cinder Shadow while he was getting his whole setup figured out to get his streaming situation fixed up, and I was kind of explaining that I was really busy and working on a lot of things, so I wasn't able to directly talk to Cinder about a ton of things, but I was kind of able to take a break every once in a while from what I was working on to help him with what he was doing. To the best of my abilities. I'm no professional over here about Cinder Shadow's issues, but thought I could be there for him as a friend and try my best to work with him where I could. But yeah, so the main thing is I was so mentally exhausted that I was passed out, and I decided to and the other thing too is that I was so stressed out that I actually am dealing with aches and pains. Sometimes when I really, really stress myself out, I basically get aches in my neck. And it's just a stress condition. Like, I've actually learned about that over time, that I have basically this thing where when I really, really overwork myself or I really stress myself out, I basically get really painful aches in my neck. And I basically, last night after working my ass off and over the time, I basically started getting really sharp pains in my neck, and I was like, okay, I'm stressing myself out and working way too hard, and I don't need to do that. So that's why I've just been kind of, hanging out today. That's all I decided to do, and I just realized that I had to do that. I had to give myself today because I had been overworking myself the last 2 days. So, and, you know, and obviously, like, on top of all the work that I've been doing, I've also been still trying to keep up with streaming with you guys. And that takes a serious mental toll. So that's why, like, I know that you guys were really excited when I was doing the double stream days. I will try to make some time to do double stream days, but please don't expect it to be a regular thing. Just doing one stream a day is very mentally taxing. And I work really hard on it. But usually a lot of the time if I do a double stream, it's because I want to hang out with my best friends online, which are usually Cobalt, Steel, and Cinder Shadow. So yeah, I just wanted to establish to you guys what I've been doing basically this week. And I also wanted to establish that, like, I am doing so good, you guys. Like, I am impressed with myself because I am doing things that I didn't think I was actually, like, before I went into this vacation mode where I decided to dedicate all my time to YouTube, I wasn't sure if I was going to be capable of putting all of this large workload that I've created for myself. Like, this isn't a workload based on a job that I get paid 9 to 5, you know, nothing like that. This is a workload that I have brought upon myself because I wanted to see if I was physically and mentally capable of doing it. And, I mean, call it ego or whatever, but I am absolutely impressed that I have been able to take on this workload of my own doing and accomplish so much with it. So I feel amazing. Like, I mean, I'm very tired today, but I'm actually very, very amazed by all the things that I have managed to pull off in the very short amount of time that I have been doing it. Let me catch up a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. Matt says I went to bed early last night, also fell asleep during the CC stream. Yeah, that was happening to me too. I passed out during Perp's stream. Like, I actually, like, passed out during Mike Hatcher's stream and woke up, like, with the screen, you know, basically saying this stream is over. And I was like, oh, I missed it. Well, Cinder Shadow is, you know, streaming. I'll go over and hang out with him. Turned on his stream, passed out again. And then I woke up to the screen saying, thank you for being in the stream. I was like, oh, okay. So, and then it was funny because I passed out like twice. And then once I woke up from Cinder Shadow's stream, I was then awake and I was like, I'm going to play video games for the rest of the night. Until I was mentally exhausted. I went to bed at around, I think it was 12:40 when I finally turned off the game, so I didn't stay up that much later after Cinder Shadow's stream, because his stream usually ends around 11 p.m. where I'm located. So I stayed up for about an hour and 40 minutes before I decided to actually go to bed. Let's see here. My Poppy says he had to reboot because he wasn't able to chat. Well, glad to have you in here, Pops. Cobalt wants to know if I beat MGI. More or less. Cobalt, I have to say something about this game. I am amazed. Like, amazed at how good that game is. Like, legitimately. I am, like, by the time I got to the end of the story, I was absolutely impressed with how interesting all the characters are, how every single one of the characters kind of has, you know, their own set of traits and quirks and, you know, depth. I was impressed with the plot of the game. That's right. Cobalt, you play that game for the plot. That's what you play that game for. You play it for the plot. And I actually want to go back and replay it, because I think there are things that I missed, and I want to know what's going on, and I want to find a way to support the creators of that game, because I want them to finish it. I want to know what happens next in the story, dude! Like, I never thought that I would play a game like MGI, and especially considering what it's advertised as, I never thought that I would play that game and say by the end of the game that I played it for the plot. Like, Cobalt, that is a good game. Like, I am legitimately amazed by how good that game is. Maybe I'll go into more depth about it on my channel, possibly, but I'm not gonna play it on the channel. There's no way in hell I'll do that. Maz says, ring, 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 phone call, ring, ring, ring. Ring, 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 banana phone. If only the Pokemon phone was real. Oh my god, no, they're so terrible in that game. James P. says, Habanero, so be a great anime voice. I would love to do real voice acting, and that could be a possibility in the future. Who knows, guys? Maz says, assume that position stuck? It... that gut chin up. Yes, Maz. Yes, that is a sentence. Cinder Shadow gives me a thumbs up, which I gave to Maz as well. My Poppy says, no passing out in the paints. Yes, that's not a good idea. Maz says, when I get stressed out, I can't eat or sleep much. Yeah, it's... I have, some, like, physical reactions to stress. Like, one of the ones that I've developed is neck pain. Because there's nothing that causes me to have natural neck pain. And I've noticed that usually my neck kind of flares up and gets painful when I'm very, very stressed out and overworked. And I've experienced it multiple times now in very stressful situations. And usually the worse the stress is, the worse the pain is. So once I start to feel my neck flare up, I'm like, okay, it's now time. Like, it's not super bad yet. I now need to step back and relax and take it easy, because if I get way too stressed out, I'm going to be in severe pain for a while, and I can't have that. So that's why I'm taking today off. I already said hello to Roxas. I'm glad to have you in here, buddy. Cindy says, happy you are doing this great. Glad I am soothing. Yeah, I was very exhausted, Cindy. And I mean, honestly, like, I'm not super into Magic, which is also kind of why, like, I could easily pass out to that. You could play the most intense games of Magic on your channel, and I'm not all that into it. But hey, man, you play some Minecraft, and I am full attention, bro. But yeah, and honestly, like, I was laying here, on my couch watching my catcher, and he put me to sleep too. But that's more commentary towards how exhausted I was rather than what the material was. Maz says, doing a little bit better, still in the gutter, but better. Well, just keep focused, girl. Just keep focused on the good times and keep your chin up like you said to me. And I'm positive things are going to get better for you. James P. says, what time zone are you in? I am, well, okay, so I'm on Mountain Standard Time, but some people don't know what Mountain Standard Time is, so usually I just tell them, Pacific Time. And it's actually really funny because for the most part, in where I'm located, Mountain Standard Time equals Pacific Time. And it was funny because I actually had a really interesting, confusing conversation with Cobalt Steel about the difference between Mountain Standard Time and Pacific Standard Time, because I had to look them up to figure out what the difference was. And we were both surprised. First of all, he had never heard of Mountain Standard Time. And I was surprised to find out that it's basically just Pacific Standard Time, where I'm located anyway, so it's not a big deal. My stepmommy says, drink more coffee. I might make some more coffee in a little bit. I had a very delicious coffee this morning. Made me very relaxed and happy, and I might make some more. Who knows? Hey, Shad! Glad to have you in here, homie. Thank you for stopping by and kicking it with us. Cobalt says there's another version of MGI that has more story and characters, but you have to pay for it. I think it's the patron version. Is it like the continuation of the prologue? Because I want to know what happens in that story. It's so good. Like, I need to know what happens, Cobalt. You don't understand. Like, the way that they end the prologue of that game, I have to know what happens. Like, it's so good. I need to know what happens in that story. Like, clearly, like the other human character is obviously begging me to understand what's going on with that person. I want to know, like, how we all, like, and I have a theory about it, too. I have a theory that what's happening is that I think that MGI Prologue is a time travel story. Seriously, that's what I think, Cobalt. I think it's a story about different characters all being pulled from different universes and different timelines and being dragged to like a single point, like event horizon. And like all of the characters are experiencing like a, you know, this crazy like universal bubble within this event horizon. And like they're all trying to figure out like, because I have a theory that some of the characters are like ancient and old, and some of the characters come from the future. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's so cool because, like, they were kind of, like, there are multiple times in the story where they're telling you a storyline that obviously takes place in this, like, dystopian future. But then, when you kind of, like, look over your main character, you realize that he's not from that dystopian future. And then you have, like, these characters that come from completely different universes, and their timeline seems, like, ancient. And, like, different from the timeline that these other characters are in. Like, it's really good! Like, I'm impressed by it, and I have to know what happens. Like, I'm so absorbed in the plot of the game, I want to know what happens. Which is funny, because I'll be honest with you guys, okay? I know that my father and my stepmother are in the chat log, and they're about to be very disappointed with me. The game that I'm talking about is a pornographic game. It's like a pornographic dating simulator game. So, yes, go ahead. Put your head down in shame. My father's allowed to shake his head and say, what have I created? What has my son become? You know, that's fine. But guys, it's got such a good plot! It's so good! Like, I mean, I can't believe how good the story is for the game. I want to know what happens. So I'm sorry if you're all disappointed in me for playing a lewd, you know, dating simulator game. But good God, is the game, like, the gameplay is really good. The game itself is beautiful. Like, it looks amazing. And the story, you guys, the story is so good. It's so good. It's amazing. Like, seriously, guys, play, it's like a game, like, it's this lewd dating simulator, but when you start getting into the plot line of it, it just pulls you in. It's so well written. I'm absolutely amazed by it. I gotta step away from that, though. Let's see here. Yeah, but I want to support the creators of that game, and I want to actually, I will pay for the continuation of the game because I need to know what happens in that story. It's so good. If anybody's curious, I'm gonna go ahead and tell the name of the game. Don't judge me for it. Play it for the plot. And I will totally understand if you don't want to play it because it's too nasty. It's a game called Monster Girl Island. And the hook of it, the main attraction for why people play it, is because it's a very dirty, lewd dating simulator game. But in the process of doing that, they wrote this amazing story. Like, yeah, it's got a lot of nudity in it, but holy crap, is the story amazing. Like, I can't say enough about how good the story is. Like, it's ridiculous. I never thought I would be able to play, like, a nudity-based dating simulator like that and have it, like, have such an amazing story to it. It's ridiculous. And it makes you think! Like, it actually, like, the story makes you think really hard about all the characters and, like, what's going on. It's so crazy. Okay, let me read a little bit more because I'm kind of behind. My dad says more coffee. Maz is talking about sleeping way too much. You shouldn't be sleeping that much, girl. That's unhealthy. Iron Man says he counts me as part of the Magic community, hooked on my card alters. Well, I appreciate that, buddy. At least somebody is enjoying my paintings. Those are my least popular videos, guys. The painting I do is the most unpopular videos that I create. My dad is letting me know that I am definitely on Pacific time. Yeah, that's kind of what I went for, is that I am. Because I looked up the, like, what time Idaho is based off of, and they said that it's primarily Mountain Standard Time, but I also got the impression that the Mountain Standard Time for Idaho is down towards Boise. So, but I run on Pacific Standard Time for sure. Excuse me. Cobalt says, I think it continues and not sure. I barely seen any of it. I really hope that they continue with that game. I'll look a little deeper into it because I need to know what's going on in that story. It's so good. Maz says, I had an ice mocha from Dunkin'. It's so delicious. Okay, nice. Yeah, their coffee's all right. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's not the worst coffee I've ever had. James P says, sounds better than current Doctor Who. It's pretty good. Like, if you are okay with playing a game that has intense nudity, I mean intense nudity. Like, like, you guys might know of a game called, like, Honey Pop, which has quite a bit of nudity in it. This game is more intense than that. There is way more nudity in this game that I'm talking about than Honey Pop. So if you are okay with playing a game with intense amounts of nudity in it, I would recommend it. Not necessarily because of all the nudity, which is great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But it's got a good story, you guys. It's got a good story. It's kind of like watching if you guys are avid anime watchers, you might know of an anime called High School Double D, which is an anime that has a lot of nudity in it. But the joke about High School Double D is that you watch it for the plot. Because that show has a great plot. I just love it when stuff can do that, where it has intense amounts of nudity and like graphic like scenes of gore and nudity and whatever. But the story is so good, and it's like I can't look away because I need to know what's happening in the plot. Like, it's so funny. Blazer Fresh is calling me Pog. That's right, I am super poggers, guys. Shed says, Becca says hi. Hi, Becca. Glad to have you in here as well. I know you're kind of off to the side. And my stepmommy says, no judgment here. Why, thank you, stepmommy. I love you. Cobalt Steel says, we both have a reputation now, Hobbs. I'm the one who recommended it to you. It's true. I would have never played Monster Girl Island if Cobalt Steel didn't recommend it to me. And admittedly, when he advertised it to me, he didn't tell me anything about the story. He advertised it to me as a pornographic game. And I was like, you know what? And, well, actually, let me rephrase that. He described it to me as a pornographic game with wonderful gameplay, which it does. It has great gameplay to it. But he didn't necessarily tell me that it had this fantastic story to it. And I basically said to him, I was like, you know what? I need a game that I can unwind and relax to. Nothing gross, guys. Nothing disgusting. Just something that's relaxing that I can unwind to and enjoy. And based on what he showed me, it looked like a game that I could, get into. So I tried it, and I was absolutely impressed by it. So, and I don't take that back in the slightest, because it's a good game. Maz says it's a porno game, but it's got a good plot. It does! Play it for the plot! Play it for the plot. Yeah, no, it's not a game for you, Roxas. No, Roxas. No, you're not allowed to play that game. No. By the way, I want to, once again, reaffirm here, guys. This is an adult channel. This is an adult channel primarily aimed and targeted at adults. It's not for children. Does that mean that I am not going to get, completely not have children in my audience? No, I have no control over that. So, I'm just going to leave it at the fact that this is an adult channel with adult content and adult subject material, and it's not recommended for children. All of my videos are labeled as not recommended for children, and I stick by that, okay? So, and I don't have any control over what kind of audience I cultivate here. but I would like to reaffirm, this is not a channel for children. Anyways, moving on. James P says, don't worry, I go to the hub for the articles. I love you, James P. That's why I love having you in here. Hey, DLG! Glad to have you in here, buddy. I hope you're doing good. I was actually thinking about you a bunch today, so I'm glad you're in here, homie. Maz, you know what I'm all about. I am Daho. Scorpa guys! Good to see you, buddy. I don't know if I said hello to you already, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Scorpa guy says, okay, gotta ask, which one is best girl? Oh, God. Oh, geez. See, I actually had a major fight with myself last night because I was playing it, and I was trying to figure out who I thought was best girl. And it's tough. There are a few of them that I don't like because they're too quote-unquote easy. I am torn between 3 different ladies, and one of them in particular... No, 2 of them I can't know for sure because I haven't had enough of progression with either of their characters, and I get the impression that there is no continuing progression with those characters. Because the game's a prologue, it's not a finished game. Without describing, one of them is tough because I can't remember her name and I feel terrible about it. Damn it. I guess I have to kind of describe the characters based on what they are. I really like one of the Fox chicks, because there's 2 of them. So one of the Fox chicks I really like a lot. I really, really like Suzu. She's the only name I've always been able to remember really well. And she is a wasp character. And it's kind of funny because a long time ago, probably all the way back when I was in high school, I actually wrote a horror fantasy story about a wasp, like a monstrous wasp that took on the form of a human. And it was a horror story because it was a story about her basically murdering people. And it was a story about it. The whole story was, the idea was that it was a monstrous wasp creature that was capable of transforming into a female form for the purpose of consuming flesh and also for the purpose of copulation to further her species. This is a story that I never released to the public for very obvious reasons. And it was very graphic and very disturbing, and I enjoyed writing every minute and every sentence of it. And I find myself reminiscing on that time in my life back in high school of writing that story when dealing with the wasp woman character in the game. The game is very good at giving you strange feelings and not... Like, it makes you question your existence a lot. So, if you know what I mean by that, it makes you question your tastes and makes you question how you feel about a variety of different things that you don't quite understand about yourself. And the character Suzu in the game, which is not a completed character, you cannot complete her route because the game is not finished. I like her a lot, and it makes me feel very confused. Like I said, it makes me reminisce on this story that I wrote back in high school, and it makes me think to myself, is there something wrong with me? Is it weird that I'm thinking about this character in this fashion? If there's a game that ever makes you question your personal tastes, especially in attraction to women, it is this game. It is this game. The other character that I really like a lot, and she does have a route that you can go pretty far on, but you still can't complete it. She's like Suzu, which is Like, Suzu is different because Suzu, the Wasp character, you can't go down her route at all. They just present her to you as a character. You get to know her just a little bit, but you can't complete a route. It's impossible because it's not finished. But this other character has a partial route where you can go halfway down it, and then it stops being a route because, like I said, the game's not completed. And that is the spider character, which is really funny because originally Cobalt was trying to show me about the spider character, and I was like, no, that ain't for me. No, that ain't for me. And then I played the game, and I was like, I like Spider Girl. What do I do? What am I doing? What is my life anymore? What is it? I also noticed right away that Cobalt mentioned Slime Girl. Slime Girl is a character that I liked when I began, and then when I got to the end of her route, I decided that I didn't like her as much as I thought I did. So, and I completed her route, and some would say that I took the bad ending on her route because it's obvious that there's a good ending and a bad ending, and I accidentally went down the bad ending for her route. And by the time I got to the bad ending, I kind of realized that I didn't like her as much as I thought I did. So, I don't know. I mean, I still kind of like the Slime Girl, but I think if I'm talking about specifically the character development within the game rather than physical attraction, the Slime Girl didn't end up on my favorites, which I was surprised by. Because I actually thought that she was going to end up being my favorite, and she wasn't. So, anyways, but yeah, so I like I'm very fond of, the fox girl, the nice fox girl, not the nasty fox girl, not the fox girl that's annoying. And I like the wasp chick a lot, probably more than I should. And I also like the spider chick, which seems very unusual to me because I didn't think that she would be a character that I would like. Okay, so let me catch up on the chat log, because I talked about that in probably way too much detail. But I'm also comfortable with it, because, like, I'm comfortable with talking about it because it actually had a good story. Like, I feel like that's the excuse that I'm allowed to make. Like, play this game because the story is good. Because it is a good story. It's, like, guys, it's like, in my opinion, based on what they were building up to, I think it's, like, a story about, like, characters traveling across space and time to all end up in the same place due to some strange event horizon. And it seems like that it's like an apocalyptic event horizon where multiple universes are, like, at risk for being destroyed. It's really interesting. Like, there's even a portion, like, you realize they even develop the overall thing because they develop all the worlds in an interesting way because you even get a map of the universe in the game at some point. And it's fascinating. And then all the characters even have their own, like, descriptive amount of information about, like, what their world is like, what the timeline is like from their world, what they did at, like, what their jobs were or what their unique roles were within that world. And, like, they even talk about political factions and, like, how those political factions are interacting with one another. And they talk about, like, a war going on. And, like, it's so crazy. Like, it's weirdly deep. Okay, so let me kind of continue on. Let's see. So I was answering all of that. That was a long monologue about Scorpgeist asking me which is best girl, and I kind of sort of answered. I have 3 girls I like in the game. Ashed says, pizza's good coffee. My current favorite is Major Dickinson's. Yeah, Major Dickhead. Yeah, Ashed, I drink a lot of Major Dickhead. It's delicious. Poor Roxas. Roxas, don't do it. You're so young and innocent. Don't do it, Roxas. Don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Roxas. What have I done to this poor young soul? I'm so sorry. My father says agreed on Major Dickhead. Yeah, Major Dickhead is delicious. James P says it's called fan service in anime. Absolutely. Cobalt says the best girls are the... Well, that's you. I mean, I didn't think you liked the slime girl. I know you like the elf character, but I didn't think you liked the slime character. But I was surprised that I didn't like the slime character as much as I thought I was going to like it. Roxas, protect your young, innocent soul. Don't do it. You have so much to live for, young Roxas. Scorp Guy says go for harem end like a champ. I mean, I think the game is designed for a harem. They implied that the full game will require you to eventually make choices that force you out of other ladies. So, like, in other words, like, they didn't actually put it into the prologue of the game, but they give you a description of how the game is played, and they do actually imply that at some point in the game, you will have to make choices where you are having to turn down one girl in order to take another girl. And then they basically explain that once you make that choice, you can't go back. Like, you can't, like, you could go back to a previous save file, obviously, but, like, once you make the choice and you go down that route with that one character, you can't pursue the route of a character that conflicts with. So, there you go. So I don't think they have a harem ending currently. I mean, the game is designed towards a harem, but I get the impression that they're going to eventually come out of that at some point when the full game gets released. DLG says, I'm honored that you were thinking about me, earmuffs kitties. Yeah, exactly. I was doing some reading and working on some meditation, and you came up in my thoughts today, buddy, so. James P says, I am that coin of wisdom, or Wisconsin nolog nonsense, LOL cheese, beer, etc. Okay. That's a sentence, I'm sure, that I just don't quite understand. That's okay. Ryderwood says, the following stream contains scenes of spiciness. Viewer discretion is advised. Absolutely. James P says, I am out for now. Okay, well, thank you for coming by and hanging out with me, homie. Ashed says, Habanero, you can be whomever you wish to be. Thank you, Ashed. Thank you for that delicious, wonderful pun. Yeah, like I said, that game makes you question a lot of things about yourself. That is for sure. Cobalt says the spider chick won't let you... Cobalt, let's keep the details a little careful here, Home Slice. I do want to go back and try to maybe go further down that route, because I actually screwed that route up, and I would like to try it again, but it's probably off in the distance because I did complete the majority of the game, and I did get my hands on the majority of the story, and then at that point you're just grinding, so we'll see. Scorp Guy says, I mean, I'm sold. Yeah, like I said, it's surprisingly well made. Like, the game is very well designed and well built, and I'm absolutely impressed by how well it's made. Ashed says, I was sold at Lewd. I've never played a game like that before. It might be fun. Ashed, when I was saying lewd, I was sugarcoating it. It's very graphic. So keep that in mind, Ashed. It's an extremely, extremely graphic game. So just keep that in mind, homie. Cobalt says Dragon Chick interests me. Yeah, she doesn't have a root, sadly. Eventually, when the game gets fully released, I assume she'll have a root. Ashed says, I love a good story. It's there. Like, you have to put up with a lot of stuff, but it's an amazing story. Roxas is a new man. Oh, no. Maz says, damn, my stomach feels twisted. I tried to force myself to eat something. Well, maybe another thing, too, is, Maz, sometimes, like, you know, try some, like, chicken broth. You know, like, when I've been sick and I can't stomach anything, chicken broth is a good way to go about it. Okay, Roxas, just be safe, buddy. Lazarus says, my father says no rees allowed. That's hilarious. Cobalt Steel is attractiveness, the elf, slime, and the short female. Yeah. That's the fox chick that you're talking about, the short female. I know who you're talking about. That's the one that I really liked a lot. Just because she's a cute character. I think she's adorable. There's a skin you can unlock for... Okay. Okay, Mr. Cobalt, no more. You're going a little deep into the degeneracy, my good friend. I was trying to skirt around the gnarlier details, so I'm trying to be really careful about that, buddy. Scorpion Guy says, so next question, are they more of a mix? They're more human. They're not like, they're more human quality than anything else, which makes it, I mean, a couple of them really skirt that line. Like, a couple of them are a little bit more creature-like than human-like, but the majority of them are very human. Yeah. No, Scorp guys, no. Like I said, I don't know all the details on the spider character because I messed up her root. Her root is very easy to mess up. Like, and I think they did that on purpose. They made her root extremely difficult. But it's like one of the characters is overly anatomically correct. And the problem with that is that they force you down her route. So, take that for what you will. Anyways, guys, I kind of want to move on from this subject. It is hilarious, and I am enjoying it because it's an enjoyable game overall. Like, it really is. Like, the gameplay is there. The characters are interesting. Like I said, the characters are actually deep. Like, they give you times where you can actually talk, like, have unique sets of dialogue with multiple of the different characters, and you find that they're actually pretty deep. There's a cat girl character in the game, and I don't know if she has a full root. I get the impression that she doesn't actually have a full root, but the cat girl is by far the deepest of all the characters, for sure. Lot of depth to that character. Like, and the thing is, too, that's really interesting is that not only is she extremely deep, but she's also very mysterious. And they've implied that, like, because, like, her, like, the cat character is so deep and mysterious because you can tell that whatever is going on with her existence within the storyline is probably driving a large amount of the plot without us even knowing. The cat girl is very fascinating, like, for sure. And she doesn't even have a full root, so, like, you don't even get to, you don't find out that she has some significant importance to what's going on in the storyline. They don't ever fully reveal what's going on. Another character that is absolutely disgusting. Like, she's detestable. Like, absolutely disgusting and absolutely detestable. But she's also probably one of the second deepest characters in the game, and that's the bunny girl. So first of all, the bunny girl is vile, you guys. She is absolutely detestable. She's terrifying. And they make you fear her, like, throughout the game. They make you afraid of her. They do everything in their power to make you absolutely afraid of the bunny girl character. And she's terrifying. Like, there are multiple moments in that game where you're having a conversation with her, and she would send, like, chills down my spine because she's a psychopath. And she's totally bonkers. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you guys. But on top of the fact that she is a total and complete psychopath, she is probably the second deepest character in the entire game. There's a lot going on with her. She's very mysterious. And you also realize that somehow she has the ability to transcend space and time. And it's fascinating. It is genuinely, like, despite, like, it's the fact that not only is she a total, complete psychopath that is genuinely terrifying. She is legitimately a very scary character. And she's a total psychopath, but also the fact that there's all this mystery, there's all this depth, and she transcends space and time somehow. She also has the ability, somehow, that we don't understand, she also has the ability to see into the past and into the future. Or at least that's what's implied. So, it's a fascinating game. Like, legitimately, you guys. Like, it's very graphic, but it's also very, very fascinating. Let me catch up a little bit more. Let's see. Well, there is the Mantis. I don't think there's a Mantis character. I don't remember there being a Mantis character. It could have been that maybe they're going to add one when they finish the game, and maybe you saw a spoiler for it. I haven't researched it that deeply yet. I'm going to have to go back and watch the first half hour. So, okay, buddy, it's all good. I mean, if you guys, like, mind you, okay, once again, warning label, guys. This is, first of all, this is not a channel for children. This is not a stream for children. And the subject material that I'm going over is not for children. Now that I've said that, and you guys understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, the game, if you're curious, if you're an adult, and you're okay with extremely graphic material, and you're curious about the game, and you're curious about the story, the game is called Monster Girl Island. So, keep in mind, very graphic, not for children at all, okay? Not at all, not one bit, no, not okay. Okay? But that's the game. It's interesting. Very, very graphic. Very graphic. I can't possibly state that enough. It might be legitimately one of the most graphic games I've ever played in my entire life. Keep that in mind, okay? Moving on. Let me continue with the chat log. You need to reset the Spider Chick's path, because you can unlock something that's nice to have. Okay, yeah. No, I know. I kind of figured I wanted to go down the full path of the Spider Girl, because she seems like a really good character, and I was really sad that I messed her route up. Scorp Guy says that is fine. I was just fascinated by the concept and want to know. Yeah, it's a good game. Like, it's really, like, there's a lot, like, it's good. It's a good game. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Let's see. Hey, my sissies! Oh, God, my sister's in the chat, and she's listening to what I'm talking about as well. My whole family is in the stream where I'm talking about a pornographic game. Wonderful. I'm so glad that my whole family is hanging out with me while I tell people about pornographic video games. So good. Hi, sissy. I love you. Thank you for being here. Roxas says I'm just looking at the thumbnail. All I can see is the bunny. Yeah, well, the thing is they actually, I think they made the bunny character, the mascot of the entire game, because she is so important to what's happening in the story of the game. So I kind of get it, but she's totally cuckoo bonkers, hands down. Maz says, Prison Escape on PS4 has lots of full frontal of guys, but has a good plot. I have heard of that game. I've never played it, but I have heard that it's also very graphic. Let's see. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you, sis. I'm sorry. I see you in the chat. It's a little... I get into a monologue state, and when I'm monologuing, I don't focus on the chat. I just kind of say what I'm thinking about, and I'm sorry if I don't immediately say hello to all the wonderful, sexy, lovely chat members in my chat log. But I do love you guys, and I'm glad you're all here, so thank you for being here, and thank you for being patient with me, too. Scorba Guy says, means they are doing good writing if you can feel that disgust. Yeah, exactly. They genuinely, like I said, that's a good point, Scorp Guys. They make you fear the bunny character. Like, when you first get to know her, you just think that she's just a freak. But then they actually make her a scary character. Like, you learn that she's a total psychopath. You learn that she has the ability to basically transcend space and time. And they make her genuinely terrifying. Like, she's a very scary character. But she's also a route that you can go down. And I get the impression that her route is probably not complete. But you can do a lot on that route. Don't get me wrong. Whether or not you want to go down that route is a Totally different story. I mean, whatever floats your boat, man. But she's a psycho. Keep that in mind if you try to go down her route. Let's see. Roxas says there's a dragon character. Yeah, it's not for you, Roxas. I'm sorry, buddy. My dad wants to know, is it very graphic? Listen, Dad, the one thing that I've learned about being public on websites like YouTube, there are a lot of people that have to be told over and over again when when something is a joke or inappropriate or caution is needed or don't do this at home. You have to really hammer it into their heads, because if you don't, they will cancel you. So that's why I had to say that over and over again like that, because I really had to make sure that people understand that I don't want to get in trouble for whatever they unleash upon themselves, and they must understand what kind of game it is. Cobalt says, something that really impresses me is that one guy made the entire game? Are you for real, Cobalt? Are you serious? Because, first of all, the game is beautiful. It is a beautiful looking game. Like, it's amazing how good it looks. Second of all, there is a lot of work put into the character models, as you guys will eventually find out if you play it. There is a lot of work and detail. Way too much detail in the character models. Second of all, the plot is very well written. And last of all, the characters are very deep. So to hear that one guy made all that? Oh, and there's one, like, what's also interesting is that they also break the fourth wall multiple times in various different ways. It's fantastic. Like, I am legitimately amazed that one single man made that game. Like, that is legitimately very impressive, because it is a fantastic game, like, overall. DLG says, I'm going to have to do some serious reading this weekend. Had a huge potential monkey wrench in my life mentioned to me today. Well, that sucks, but I know that you can get through it, buddy. Hi, Smeeview. Hi, Sissy. Cobalt says, hey, man, I have a reputation among my friends about recommending good games. Yeah, I didn't think... Like, I was just looking to kind of have, like, a silly, adult game to kind of play and relax to and not necessarily focus deeply on. But that game really made me think a lot, for sure. It was a very deep game. DLG says, well played, Habs, well played. Roxas, it's not a game for you, dude. It's not a game for you. Don't play it. Just accept the fact that it's not a game for you, dude. Just wait until you're older someday. Cobalt is telling me that, yeah, it's a solo developer. That's legitimately very impressive. I would love to support that guy. Scorbageist, I'm looking at it, and wow, so many skills in this for one person making it. Yeah, it's a great game. Like, it is. Roxas, it's not for you. This is not a game for you. You know what? Just leave the stream, buddy. I'm going to do you the biggest favor. I love having all my viewers. Just leave the stream for today, buddy. Just go home. Turn off Steam. Don't look any deeper into the game. Go take a nap. Go have a snack, buddy. Just relax. That's it. That's it for you, homie. I will kick you out of here if I have to. I will do it. Poppy says, got to be re-free. There you go. Cobalt says, hey, I got another recommendation. It's not as good as... Well, I mean, if it looks really nice, maybe. Okay. So let me kind of talk about some other things that there's something that I really wanted to talk about today. And I kind of talked about it a little bit. Just a little wee bit. Let's see. Ratherwood says, you going stream this month? No. No, Ratherwood, no. No. I actually read a review, because I was actually curious, and I went into the community log of the game to kind of find out some more information about how deep the game goes and whether or not the game is in any further development currently. So I was curious about it because I want to see more information about it. And I was surprised that I read this review by this guy who said that he played the game on a Discord stream and he streamed it to like a small crowd of people. Now, when he said small crowd, he was saying like 5 or 6 people watched him play the game. And he basically said that his expectations for the game was that on the level of another game that I've played called Honey Pop, which Honey Pop has nudity. It does. But it's not graphic. Like, yes, there's nudity, but it's not crazy graphic like this game is. And he said that he streamed this game on Discord, which is the safest way to go about streaming a game like this. And he said that he streamed this game, and he and his audience had no idea what they had gotten themselves into. And he said it involved a lot of embarrassment, shame, and him and his entire audience had to completely rethink their entire lives after witnessing it. And the game will do that to you. It will. It made me question things about myself when I played it, you guys. Like, I told you because, like, I found myself interested in the root of Suzu, the wasp girl. And I'll be damned if I didn't stop playing the game for a minute and had to think very deeply about my life. Like, I was like, why am I interested in going down the route of a wasp girl, a hybrid insect woman? What possible life choices have I made that are making me actively pursue this? Like, why? And then the same with the spider character, too. I was like, why am I doing this? What is wrong with me? Why? I had to sit down for a couple minutes and be like put my head in my hands and like, what possible life choices have I made to come down this route at this particular moment in time? Like, you know, it'll do that to you. It will. It'll make you question a lot about yourself. It's so funny. It's so damn funny. But yeah, no, number 52? What are you talking about, Dad? I don't know what you're talking about. Ratherwood says Discord is max 12 people. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he was saying it was just a small group of people that he streamed the game to, but I am not streaming that game on my channel. No way, no how. Nuh-uh. You guys are allowed to look it up and play it on your own, and I mean, like I said, if you go in, like, knowing that it's going to be extremely graphic, but you're curious about it, and you just want to relax and have a good time and enjoy a really good story, go for it. But keep in mind of what kind of game it is. No demos? Darn, says Anita. Well, it's a free game, and the whole game is a demo. Like, the whole entire game is a demo. It's a prologue to a larger game that the guy is supposedly working on. And it's just very well made for a demo. And there's a lot of content considering it is a demo. It actually almost feels like a full game. That is until you get to the cliffhanger. They do have a cliffhanger ending. So, but it's very good. Anita, it's not a game. I don't think you would enjoy it at all. I don't think you or Dad would enjoy it. I'm sorry. Despite the fact that it does have a really good story and good characters, it's not a game that either of you would enjoy. Trust me, I promise you that it's not a game you would enjoy. I'm sorry to say that. Cobalt says, it's another solo developer. The game is really beautiful too. Has better graphics. It doesn't have in-depth characters. Zero story. Well, go ahead and PM me and I'll take a look at it, homie. Roxas says, hey, before I leave, will you do a Discord stream? If no, can you? It depends. I'm not going to stream the game we're talking about right now. No. But sometimes I do what's called secret streams, where I work on either painting or like other games or grinding or whatever. And I usually will, especially if it's like grinding in a video game, I'll do it on Discord stream rather than on YouTube. So just stay in touch on the Discord, guys, and sometimes I will do secret streams on there. So what I'll start doing is I'll in the future do the @everyone option. That way I can send a notification to everybody in the Discord to know that I am doing a secret stream. So just stay in touch, Roxas, and I'll probably do some secret streams soon. Especially depending on what happens in the Pokemon game. That's a very likely option as well. DLG says, what else did you want to talk about? I'll get to it in just a second because I did mention it. Just briefly. I'll read the comments and then I promise I'll get into the next subject. The sounds make me rethink some things. Yeah, I could see that. Insect girl with hairy legs, Habs, you sick. Okay, whatever. And by the way, Maz, isn't that a little shallow of you? Judging somebody based on their appearance rather than who they are on the inside? You're judging a person by their hairy legs? Really, Maz? I think that says more about you than me, doesn't it? Yeah? Think about your life, girl. Think about your decisions. And don't take me too seriously. It's okay, Maz. I know we're joking around here. My stepmommy says you've been in self-isolation too long. Probably. I actually have been making an effort to get out more, which is probably really healthy for me. This week so far, I have not gotten out too much, so I might have to make an effort to go into town and be with people. No to the 50-second power. I see. Yeah, I don't... Like I said, talking about the game, because I assume that's what you're talking about, Pop. Yeah, it's not a game for you guys. Devin Noel, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate ya. Hey, brother, on lunch, checking in. Good to see you, homie. Glad to have you in here hanging out with us. We're having a good time, just kind of chatting about a very dirty game. A very, very dirty game. And, of course, when I'm talking about a very dirty game, my whole family is in the chat log talking to me about the very dirty game that I've been playing. Whatever. This is my life, guys. This is my life, and I live it every day. Roxas says, if I play it, it will be PG-friendly. Roxas, just avoid it for now, homie. just avoid it for now. All right. So, the subject that I wanted to talk about that I actually unintentionally briefly talked about it. So earlier, you guys might have noticed, by the way, I want to check something. Ah, that's an issue. Let me change something real quick, and then I'll get into this next subject, I promise. I have to change one thing. I thought this would definitely be an issue as it gets darker where I'm located. All right, there we go. So, what I did was I turned on my my lamp, my studio lamp. So now it's not so dark in here, huh? I mean, I guess my complexion is a little funkalicious, but I think you guys will be okay with it for a little bit. But it is nice that the natural sunlight that comes in through my window is bright enough that I don't need my studio lamp unless it's getting darker like it is right now. So that's why I turn on the studio lamp. It also helps with my vision and all that. So, okay, so the topic that I wanted to talk about was the thing that triggered it in my head was I mentioned earlier, especially to my dad, who was making a joke about the fact that I was saying the word, this game is very graphic, this game is very inappropriate, like, please understand that adults are only allowed to play it, it's not for children, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was trying to give all these warnings, and I had to say it over and over and over and over and over again. And that's actually what I wanted to talk about. And there were some completely different things that I had on my mind that I was watching in videos today that made me want to talk about this before I even mentioned it earlier, which was me saying the same thing over and over again to warn people. So, I watched a couple of very interesting videos today that got my gears turning and made me realize that I wanted to make it a topic. So right now, there is a person who made an incredibly stupid decision in their life, and they might have to pay for it for the rest of their lives. So, I don't know if you guys have heard about Gorilla Glue Girl. Have you guys heard about this at all? Gorilla Glue Girl. I might, like, so, I mean, I'm waiting for the chat log to basically, you know, see if you guys know what I'm talking about. Roxas says no, but that makes sense because you're probably not as connected with social media and, you know, things going on like that. So basically, Gorilla Glue Girl is this person who, okay, Maz knows about it. It's kind of hard to miss it right now. It's kind of this big topic on social media in general. It's on Twitter. It's on, like, there's articles about it. It's, you know, on YouTube. And so basically, Gorilla Glue Girl is this woman, this 40-year-old woman, who basically she has a shampoo that she uses that allows her hair to hold its shape. Oh yeah, even my dad knows about Gorilla Glue Girl. Yeah. So basically, this woman, this 40-year-old woman, who basically uses a special kind of shampoo or, you know, hairspray, that allows her hair to hold her shape, and it's a normal beauty product, whatever. This woman ran out of this hair product that she uses to keep her hair in the proper formation that she keeps it in. And so she decided that it would be a great idea for her to go and grab a can of industrial quality Gorilla Glue spray. Now, if you guys don't know what Gorilla Glue is, I assume most of you probably know what it is. Gorilla Glue is a industrial adhesive that is basically designed to be nearly inseparable. Like, once you use it on something and you stick something to it, that's it. It's supposed to stay there. It doesn't come undone. It's done and over with. Like, and it's an industrial adhesive. So, an industrial adhesive is, like, you're not so... And I've worked with industrial adhesives for varieties of different kinds of projects. So, basically, you're not supposed to put it on your skin, in your eyes, in your mouth. Like, it's very, very dangerous. It's a very dangerous product. And it's useful, and it's important that we have it for, you know, all sorts of different things. But you're not supposed to use it on your skin or on your body in any fashion. And this woman decides to, because she ran out of her hairspray that keeps her hair in shape, she thought it would basically be a good idea to go grab a can of industrial quality Gorilla Glue spray and spray her hair with it. So her hair has been in this look for a month solid. It has become hard as a rock. Like, it's like a dome piece, basically. And she finally decided to come out and be like, okay, it's been a month. No matter what I do, I can't do anything about it. Like, I need to seek help on this. And so the thing that makes me really upset about this is that, like, something famous that PewDiePie says is, it's like evolution, but backwards. So the thing that I get really upset is I had to take a moment in my stream to repeatedly say over and over again, this content is graphic. It's not for children. It's for adults only. Do not watch it with children. This is not a children's channel. This is not a channel for people under the age of 18. Like, I had to say all those things, and I had to be very adamant about it. And the thing is that mentality has had to seep into our culture. And it's everywhere. Like, some of my favorite YouTube channels have had to become a part of that. Like, they're like, hey, like for example, like, Mike Hatcher, when he makes a joke about another content creator, he says, listen, guys, this is a joke. I'm not angry at this creator. I don't hate him. I don't have any, remorse towards this person. I genuinely appreciate the guy. I like the guy. This is a joke. What I have said here is a joke. And it's like, it's everywhere now. It's everywhere. There's no real sense of, like, first, and it's things like that, like Gorilla Glue Girl, where you have this adhesive that explains all of the dangers on it. And, like, it has multiple warnings, but even so, with all those warnings and all those descriptions and all that stuff, that woman put it in her hair. And the thing is and then, there have been moments sometimes where it's like, you see, like, a product on the shelf, or like an item or something, and it has a warning label, and you read that warning label and you're like, well, duh. You know, like, have you ever had that moment where you, like, read a warning label and you're just like, well, yeah, duh. Like, clearly you shouldn't be putting this in your eyes. Clearly you should not consume this product. Like, clearly, you know, if you, you know, sit your butt inside of this, you know, gigantic industrial bucket and you get yourself stuck, or, like, don't put your baby in the bucket and it'll drown, like, you know, and you're just like, well, duh. Like, you have that duh moment. You're just like, it's so obvious. Like, I can very clearly think my way around this problem or this issue. And, like, but the thing is here we have Gorilla Glue Girl, who just does it. Like, the warning labels are made for those people. And you're like, there are people like that exist in this world? And it's like, yeah, there are. Like, it's so sad. And the thing is that, and I also state that with, like, how people have to interact online, too. Like I said just a second ago, like, we have this issue where people will make a joke. Like, and like I said, I used my catcher as an example, but also, like, I watch the Game Grumps, you know, or I watch, you know, Super Mega, or I watch, there's a whole bunch of channels that have very distinct, rough, crude humor. And they poke fun at people, and they poke fun at themselves, and they make commentary that is offensive on purpose because it's entertainment. But it really is sad that we live in this, like, state where, like, this state of mind in our culture and our society where we feel like that we have to constantly, carefully explain every single last word. Because it's like, at any moment, like, you could become, like, you could say one wrong thing and you're immediately a part of cancel culture, where everybody is trying as hard as they possibly can to ruin your life just because you said a joke. And it's like, and then you have to, like, take the moment to carefully try to explain it to them, and sometimes even that doesn't work. Sometimes it's like, well, even though you explained it, the fact that you even said it is just wrong. Because you may have been joking, and you may have been trying to be funny, haha, but the fact that you're even saying something like that is promoting its existence, and therefore it's wrong, and you're wrong, and you deserve to be canceled, and I'm going to ruin your life over it. And it's like why, I don't understand, like, why we have come to be that way as a society and a culture. And it's terrible that we're also, you know, even promoting we're promoting that to continue. Like, for example, going back to Gorilla Glue Girl, we now have, first of all, that woman, because of her situation, is now making insane amounts of money hand over fist from people who just are sending her money because they feel bad for her. And they feel like it's not her fault. And then on top of that, she's suing the company, guys. I don't know if you guys heard the most recent news. She is looking to sue Gorilla Glue because she made the choice to put a dangerous adhesive, and a dangerous industrial adhesive into her hair. That was a choice that she made, despite all of the warning labels. And then, to make it even deeper than that, we have on top of that people who are defending it by saying, like, supposedly there was a lawyer who contacted Gorilla Glue, like, I believe on Twitter or something, and, you know, idiots are everywhere on Twitter. Like, we have a lawyer who contacted Gorilla Glue on Twitter saying that the can doesn't say anything about hair. It says, do not consume, do not inhale, do not put on your skin, do not put on your eyes, do not put... It has this whole wide list of things you're not supposed to do with it, but the can doesn't say anything about hair. And therefore, it's their fault. And therefore, they're liable for damage. Like, why do we support that? What, like, and the thing is the only thing I could think of is that it's just more people who also don't have, like, who would make the same kind of mistakes, maybe. And, like, I then even question, like when and I mean, this may sound really dark, guys, okay? I'm sorry to say this. This is going to be something that's going to come out of my mouth. It's going to be very dark. Some might even say that it's morbid. But this is what I will say is, like, when are we going to allow natural selection to take over again? You know? Like, when are we going to sit down and say, you know what, that person made a stupid choice. They don't deserve any money. They don't deserve any legal help because they made the wrong decision of their own volition and decided to physically harm themselves, possibly permanently for the rest of their lives, because they didn't have the ability to think around the situation. They didn't have the... And, like, it's like, well, maybe she's not that smart. And it's like, well, clearly, but why is that everybody else's fault? You know? Like, maybe that's a person... Like, and I mean, it's like I'm not, like... Maybe that's a type of person that actually needs help from other people. We have all of these systems in line in our society that are designed to help people that have very serious mental conditions and and physical conditions and what have you. But, like, that person is still like a functioning member of society, and they're allowed to, like, you know, make those kind of, you know, decisions and then reap benefits that they don't deserve from it because they made a wrong decision and permanently harmed themselves probably for the rest of their life. Like I said, that woman's that woman's scalp will probably never be the same ever again. That woman probably did permanent damage to her scalp, and her head will probably never recover from it. But she actively made that decision. And so, because she actively made the decision to ignore the copious amount of warning labels on that product, and she made the choice to use it on her physical body, so therefore she deserves to get money from random people that feel bad. Well, I mean, those people can do whatever the hell they want with their money. That's not necessarily what I care about. It's fine. Like, if dumb people want to throw their money at other dumb people, that's their dumb choice. That's fine. I'm not upset about that. That's not what I care about. What I care about is the fact that this woman has a standing in the legal system to sue for damages against a company that covers their products in warning labels. Like, that doesn't seem right to me. And that is, like I said, because we also promote that kind of, like, thinking in our culture. Like I said, I had to say over and over again that game is not appropriate for children. Because I don't want to be liable for trouble because some adult was stupid enough to, like, not tell their child to, like, not look up a bad game or, you know, that kind of material. And it's like they're not being the adult, or they're not being the proper parent, or what have you. So I have to go out of my way to be overly responsible for myself. Like, I mean, I like to think I'm a pretty responsible person, and I work really hard to kind of cultivate, you know, my audience and be careful. Like, yes, I like making ridiculous jokes. Yes, I curse on my channel. Yes, I do all these things. But, you know, like, I try to be relatively careful with the kind of audience that I surround myself with, in the sense that I like to think that the majority of my audience understands my sense of humor and things like that. But there are also times where I have to be overly cautious, like I did when talking about that game. I had to be very careful talking about that game and warning people, because I don't know, you know, what kind of people are going to misunderstand that information in the future, whether current or in the future. So it persists as, like, a part of our overall, like, culture. Like, we always have to, like, it's like every time somebody produces some form of entertainment or some type of commentary or whatever, they have to constantly be aware that there is a cancel culture out there seeking them. You know, there are people out there that want to, you know, destroy their livelihood and their, you know, ability to function in society because they made a joke, or, you know, like, they didn't put a proper warning label at the beginning of something, or, like, you know, and the thing is that we keep having more and more people entering into our pop culture and society that say that's the right way to do it. Like, these people don't deserve second chances. These people don't deserve... Like, we should destroy their livelihood because they made a joke. And that's okay in our society. And, like, it disgusts me. It really makes me angry. And I really can't stand it that we have to be overly cautious about that stuff. So, I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I do want to catch up on the chat log because I went on a pretty long monologue there, and I'm sorry, guys. Let's see, fix the video brightness or contrast. Yeah, let me see if I can... Yeah, it's pretty bright, huh? Let me kind of take a look real quick, and I'll see if I can kind of fix it just a wee bit. Let's see here. And then I promise I'll catch up more on the chat log. It's this bad boy. And over here, let's see if they'll let me mess with it. I think they will. I think it'll be fine. Let's see. Let's turn down the Ooh. I think that's working. Hey, check it out. I'm not, I'm not on the surface of the sun anymore, guys. Look at that. All right, so let me go ahead and apply that. And that looks pretty good. I think that looks a lot better. So now I'm going to come back over and read the chat log. Let's see. So I read about the brightness and all that. People are talking about the Gorilla Glue girl. Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing is because it's like, that's the kind of, like, because I'm reading, what the hell, no brains under that hair. That's the kind of society we live in now. Where it's like it's socially accepted to be, unintelligent. And it's like we treat them like, oh, you made a really bad decision and, like, you don't want to learn from your really bad decision. That's okay. That's okay that you didn't learn anything. Yeah, you're allowed to do it again. That's okay. Of course, you put Gorilla Glue in your hair, and you've caused permanent damage to your scalp, but that's okay. Here's a lot of money. Here's all the legal standing you need so that you can get a bunch of money that you don't deserve. It's okay. Go ahead and do it. You know what? Next time, light your hands on fire, okay? Why don't you take that knife and put it in your foot, okay? It'll be fine. Don't you go putting that knife in your leg, Ricky Bobby, because then you'll get a lot of money for it. I just, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like because we're coddling those people, they don't get to learn anything. They don't have the ability to learn from their mistakes because we treat them like they're not mistakes. We reward them instead. And that's what really bothers me about it, is that we're constantly rewarding, like, stupidity. Like, that's what it comes down to. We're rewarding people for making terrible decisions. And I don't like that at all. It's really, because it makes you feel like that, like, it makes you feel like that when you're an intelligent person, it makes you feel like that it's not worth it. Because you see these people who do these incredibly terrible, awful, stupid things, and then they get rewarded copiously for it, And like I said, it's not so much that, like, I'm upset about stupid people giving other stupid people money, but I am really upset by the fact that she has a legal standing to sue the company. That doesn't seem right to me, Even my stuffed animals are smarter than that, says DLG. That's great. Her hairstylist uses a hammer and chisel. Oh my god, Dad. That's so good. Glue hair sounds so punk rock. It sounds like, she was trying to go for, like, what's it called? A mohawk. 14 hours she's got surgery to get it out. Yeah, it's crazy. Devolution. There you go, Cobalt. That's great. It's on TMSYT. Okay, I don't know what that is, but okay. DLG says, like the quote goes, there are two things that are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not quite sure of the first one. That's great. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. I'm going through it, guys. Not everyone, but I do love offensive humor. Some people may not understand it, but time plus tragedy equals humor. Yeah, it's true. Cancel culture is not self-sustainable. Yeah, well, it's actually really funny because I've seen it happen a few times, is when the people who try to shut others down through cancel culture get canceled by their own kind of people. That is the funniest thing. Like, I love it when I see, and I mean, that might be some schadenfreude on my side, but I love it when I see cancel culture-oriented people get canceled by cancel culture. It's so funny. It's like watching somebody get a taste of their own medicine, you know what I mean? DLG says, sounds like they settled out of court. But even so, implying that they settled out of court means that she now has access to money for the wrongdoing of a company that was never wrong. You know? I hate that. I really don't like that. Scorpio Guy says, at some point people need to be held responsible for their own terminal case of stupidity. Yeah, it's true. Trolls are in it for the meme. That's true too, Shadow. There are a lot of people who will just kind of like act like they're part of cancel culture even though they don't agree with it just to troll people. Scorpio Guy says, I mean, shouldn't it be obvious that the Gorilla Glue adhesive is in the hardware section for a reason? Well, but see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like what I said before, like you and me, we see like those kinds of warning labels and we know exactly like what they're doing and what they mean and what they're for. And then we even have that moment where we reflect on it. We're like, who are these warning labels for? Well, clearly now we've seen who those warning labels are for, haven't we? Right? She wants a bigger container to spell out the universe of don'ts. Yeah, there you go. Maz says, I watched a video earlier. She did a federal crime by using a product for not its intended use. The thing is, though, is she actually being held accountable for that? That would be interesting if that actually happened. That seems like kind of a stretch to me, though, Maz. But I'll look into that and see if I can find out more about it. DLG says, humanity moved from the mindset of what did I do wrong to you let me do this wrong. No responsibility for their own actions. Yeah. And it honestly disgusts me. Like, I mean, you know, like I feel lucky to be, you know, not only intelligent, but also raised by intelligent parents, you know, to a relative degree, like my father. You know, I had a very intelligent father who raised me to actively think intelligently. And I really appreciate that because, you know, like I always say that, you know, and I've told this to my father and to other people as well. The best lessons I've learned in life are lessons that I had to learn the hard way. Because once you learn something the hard way, you never forget it. And I still wholeheartedly believe in that because I've learned a lot of great lessons from making really bad mistakes, you know? But it seems also that we have a culture that supports the idea that that's not relevant. Like somebody can go and make a terrible mistake like putting Gorilla Glue in their hair, and then they get rewarded for it rather than learn the lesson that they deserve to learn. Which I don't think is healthy for you know, people or society or future generations. I legitimately feel that way. I get worried that people, like, here's a scary thought. Here's a scary thought, guys. I bet that woman has children. Think about that. The woman, the 40-year-old woman who put Gorilla Glue in her hair, how much you want to bet she has children? That doesn't scare the shit out of you, I don't know what will. Okay? Like, think about that. Think really long and hard about that. That woman's offspring probably exist. Yeah. Scary, right? Okay, let's see. Right. Maz says, now there's hell to pay over the glue. Is that actually, like, happening? Like, is somebody actually taking legal action against her for inappropriately using an industrial product? I would love to find out more information about that. That would be really interesting. Because, I mean, in all seriousness, like, I don't want that woman to, like, you know, it's not that I want to see her punished. It's not that I want her to have a terrible time. What I want is for her to learn from her mistakes. Like, I don't care, like I said, I don't care if dumb people are paying other dumb people. I don't care about that. What I want is for her to have made a terrible, awful mistake, but in the process have learned from it. That's what I want. I want the chance for every person who has the capability and hopefully level of intelligence to make a mistake, but then in turn learn from the mistake, because that's what making mistakes is about. Making mistakes is about learning from them. And if we have a culture that says, oh, you didn't make a mistake, you don't need to learn from it, then she's going to make other mistakes in the future just like that. Or she's also going to possibly even encourage other people to make those similar mistakes in the hopes that they will be able to reward themselves for making those mistakes rather than learning a lesson from them. Let's see here. It says, don't put on skin, and it's spray your scalp is still skin, and it's, yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, Roxas. See, like, Roxas is is probably, like, and I should be careful with this because of my channel, but Roxas is probably one of my youngest audience members in my channel, and even he understands that. You know? Like, I mean, I feel like that goes without saying. Like, Maz says cancel culture will eat their own eventually, then it will end. Yeah, I mean, but the problem is the fear that, like I said, people like that still reproduce. You know, they still go and have children, and then they teach the children that they have those values that they have. And that's really frightening. Like, and I'm not saying that those children are automatically stupid, because I want to assume that everybody in general has the capability to learn and become intelligent. I really want to believe that. But the thing is that when you have people that are parenting those children that are, you know, making terrible decisions and being rewarded for those terrible decisions, and then they pass that on to their generations, you know, to their future generations, you have to fear that they're just going to keep making more of themselves, you know? And, like, I would love the idea that those people will, you know, become more intelligent and learn and be better and what have you. But it's also fearful, it's frightening to me that, you know, those children that may be able to be more intelligent or learn, you know, what have you, are being taught lessons by people that are making terrible, awful decisions in that fashion. It's scary. It's frightening. Like, you know, I'm not, like... I do believe that, you know, even their offspring probably have the capability to, you know, be more intelligent and learn, but it's frightening, you know, it really is. And I'm not saying we all need to just, you know, get rid of them all, because that's not the final solution, because if we just get rid of them all, we're just creating a different kind of problem now, aren't we? So what we need is we need a system and a culture that supports learning from mistakes, and, you know, the propagation of being, you know, more intelligent and, you know, rewarding people who are more intelligent and rewarding people who work hard and learn and, you know, choose to make good decisions in their lives that will overall pay off both in their health and their overall well-being, whether that be financially or socially or whatever, you know? It's frightening that, you know, our culture is working in the way that it does right now. It's frightening. Bo Falcon says, just got home from work. New look is too good. I like it. Hi, Habs and peeps. Thank you, Mr. Bo Falcon. I just want to let you know, as a wonderful Patreon member of mine, it was your wonderful donation that allowed me to be able to afford this new camera. So thank you so much. And I see Lettuce is in here. Once again, another wonderful Patreon member. I would like to once again reaffirm the new higher quality camera that you guys are seeing me through is thanks to the wonderful donations that I get from my wonderful Patreon members. And also, you know what, for that matter, all people who donate to my channel, whether it's on Patreon or whether it's for, you know, through the Streamlabs or the PayPal or whatever, that really does go towards improving the channel. And this is me giving you guys proof right here, right now, that your donations are being used to further the quality of this channel. So I really appreciate you guys. I genuinely do. So thank you for making this overall channel and these streams a much better environment that all of you guys can experience, you know? So let me go ahead and read Lettuce's comment because I'm sure it's wonderful. Lettuce says, time plus Hobbs equals a thirsty Rob. Thank you. You know I love you. You know I love you, Lettuce. Cobalt Steel says, hey, I'm gonna scram. Take care, guys. Thanks for stopping by, Cobalt. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here, homie. Lettuce says, in South Korea, the fans auto shut off after 30 minutes because of a previewed suffocation risk. I think I've heard of that. That's the thing where, like, they tell you that you should not sleep. You should never fall asleep in front of a fan because you can suffocate. I think I know about that. And I did remember hearing that I think that originated in Korea, so that's actually pretty interesting. Not 100% sure what it's relevant to what I was talking about, but it is interesting. I think I watched a video about that a while ago. Scorpio Guy says, the studies show that smart people suffer more from anxiety and depression. This woman is a living example of why. Yeah, I will admit, as you guys probably know about me because I've talked about it a few times, I do actually have issues with depression, and I feel lucky enough that I'm powerful enough to be able to fight my depression in the way that I do. I don't take medication. And I have been recommended medication for my depression multiple times by multiple different people, but I feel like that I actually do a very, very good job on keeping my depression under control and also bringing myself out of it. So there you go. Not necessarily trying to say it's because I'm hyper intelligent, even though I know I'm intelligent. There's my big fat head. Do you guys like my big fat head? It swole 3 times that day. Anyways, moving on. Roxas says she don't got kids. Oh, okay, there you go. Well, thank you, Roxas, for doing the research. I appreciate it. That's probably a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be, dour about it, but, and, that may seem kind of dark to say, but it's probably a very good thing that that woman does not have children. Just saying. Lettuce says to the contrary, she 100% has at least 2 kids, neither share a father. See, that's the thing, Lettuce, is because, I kind of agree with you. Whether or not it's contrary to what the actual truth of the situation is, I would totally believe that that woman has kids. And it scares me to think that that could be a possibility. Lettuce says, well, just because she doesn't have custody of her kids doesn't mean she don't have them. Oh, God. Lettuce, I love you so much. I love you so much, dude. Honestly, the fact that she doesn't have custody, if that's a true statement, which, I don't know. But it's probably, if she does, in fact, have kids and doesn't have custody, that would probably be the safer route, in all honesty. Lettuce. Roxas. Lettuce is a very interesting man who likes to be contrary, so just slow your roll with him, my good friend. Roxas, trust me, Lettuce is a contrarian. That's the kind of man he is, so I wouldn't fight him on it. I wouldn't fight him. Just like how I speak to you guys in these streams and videos I do, I have my jokes, and Lettuce has his jokes, and Lettuce is very contrary with his style of humor, and I absolutely adore it. I love Lettuce's sense of humor, because Lettuce's sense of humor is very frequently on the same level of my style of humor, so Lettuce goes a little bit farther with it than I do, but I still absolutely adore that man and his sense of humor. Let's see here. Maz says, round them up, put them in re-education centers. See, that's a good way to put it, Maz. I thought you were going to go a different direction with that statement, but I agree with that. I think that, I think it's just that, I don't know how it would have to be done, but we just need, and it's hard because of, we have this internet culture where every single person on the planet basically can have a voice if they choose to. And it just really is hard because the people who make really bad decisions and say really inappropriate or not intelligent things are usually the people that get heard the most. And a lot of the time it's because they're being made fun of. But the problem that comes from that is that when you have a person who says something that's very unintelligent or very inappropriate or whatever, and those people are being made fun of, it's basically pushing them up to the front so that everybody can hear them. And yes, we all kind of stand around and have a good laugh about it, but then there's also all the other people who, because we're putting our attention on it and having a good laugh about it, there's all the other people that are like, oh, I see this thing now, and I agree with it because I am of the same level of intelligence or mindset as that person who's saying something that is unintelligent or inappropriate. So it's, it's that, they all kind of work together and they all kind of think together, and it's this overall, it's like they do deserve to be made fun of, but at the same time, it's creating this major conflict where, you know, we have these people who are being heard, even though, you know, by the wrong kinds of people, you know? It's very difficult to really get into, you know, really trying to understand it as a problem that needs to be solved, because honestly, like, I don't know how to solve it. And even if I did have an understanding on how to solve it, I don't think it would be something that we could just easily implement into our culture, because that's not how our culture works anymore. Our culture used to be a lot smaller before the internet came around, you know? And we used to have a relative, like, especially like the media and stuff like that, used to have a very particular level of control over what kind of culture we experienced and what kind of culture we had. And because of that reason, it was a lot safer and a lot more organized and you know, not what, but now because we have the internet, we have an out-of-control culture that goes in many, many different directions and many, many different kinds of audiences and groups and mindsets and varying levels of intelligence that interact with those different kinds of cultures. And it's just very difficult, you know, because it's like the idea of, like, you know, you're trying to, like you want to put out the fire, but you're putting out the fire with a squirt gun. You know, and the fire you're trying to put out with the squirt gun is like a house fire, you know? And it's like, just when you think you might have one fire put out, then you have to go and realize that there's another fire somewhere else. And I really just don't believe that there is, like, a full, proper way of handling it. And it's very scary, because I don't know, you know, where it's taking us in life. You know, I don't know where, you know, what people are going to be able to do. I don't know what kind of generations we're going to get further in the future as we keep doing this. And it's intimidating. It's very intimidating knowing that is something that we're going to have to watch progress, whether we want it to or not, you know? I'm going to catch up a bit more, because I've spoken a lot of my piece about this stuff. Let's see. Lettuce says he's the very first Patreon. That's right. I want to say that you and Bo Falcon kind of joined around the same time. I can't 100% remember if you were, in fact, the very first. I kind of went with the idea that both of you got on around the same time, though. Because I do recall that when I set up my Patreon, both of you joined it, like, immediately. And I greatly appreciate that. You and Bo Falcon are wonderful people that I've been so lucky to have in my life. And even Bo Falcon was talking about how both Bo Falcon and Lettuce were subscribers on my channel before I was really making content. Like, I did have content on the channel, but it was very different when they first subscribed. It wasn't like what I'm doing now. So I greatly appreciate you guys, that you guys have given me so much support, whether I've done anything or not, you know? And I greatly appreciate that. You two are very wonderful friends to me. Like, even outside of doing YouTube, like, you guys have been wonderful people to me. Like, genuinely. Like, and that's why, like, you know, like, I love spending time with you guys, and, like, I hang out with Lettuce, you know, off stream and things like that every once in a while, and I've even interacted with Bo a couple of times off of YouTube, and he's a wonderful person as well. And I just feel so lucky that I have these people who just want to support me and enjoy what I do. And I even have people specifically like Lettuce and Bo Falcon who just enjoy, you know, me as a person, you know, not necessarily the content that I create. They do appreciate the content, very obviously, but they also appreciate me as a person, and they show that almost every time I interact with them. And I really, really am appreciative. I'm really appreciative of that. Let's see here. Fell behind a little bit. Dak Janglies is amazing at curing alcohol. My meds. Maz says my med. Lettuce says I medicate with alcohol, which is, you do you, buddy. I as your friend, I hope you are staying safe, and looking out for yourself for the best of your abilities. I know you're a pretty strong and independent and smart guy, so I trust that you are, you know, doing what's right for you. So you do you, homie. Maz says my meds is the family and friends that pulled me out of depression and some Jack Daniels. Okay, so everybody's medicating with alcohol, apparently. Roxas is having a miniature breakdown, apparently. Scorpio Guy says, to make this even more terrifying, supposedly she is a teacher. Oh my god, don't say that, Scorpio Guys. Oh my god, that's even worse than her just creating her own children. I might have nightmares about that. Don't tell me things like that, Scorpio Guys, seriously. Lettuce says, I drink and I know things. Check out my OnlyFans. I love how those sentences, like, even though those were two separate thoughts, I like the idea of that being one complete sentence. I drink and I know things. Check out my OnlyFans. Maz says, I remember I used to despise Lettuce, but after a while he grows on you, and he's fun as hell to be around. Yeah, he is. I love Lettuce. I do. And the thing is that the thing I've learned about Lettuce is that he's a genuinely caring guy who really cares about the people that he interacts with on a regular basis. So, I love that sexy Lettuce boy. I really do. My dad is saying bye. Bye, Dad. I think I already said goodbye to you, but I'm about to end the stream in a few minutes anyways, so I'm wrapping up, you guys. I'm wrapping up. Your boy says, I'm your friendly neighborhood alcoholic. Of course you are, homie. DLG says, I have to agree, Maz. Lettuce grows on you like something. Not sure how to describe it. Some would call it a tumor. I'm just kidding, buddy. I love you. Hard to explain, says Maz. Absolutely. Fungal infection, says Lettuce. I love that. That's great. Not yeast. Thank you, Lettuce. Thank you for clarifying. Lettuce says, you barely register as a content creator to me. I know you do it, and I partake, but honestly, you're my bro, and these streams are my way to check in. Aw, Lettuce, thank you. I don't know whether to be complimented or hurt by the fact that you don't register me as a content creator, but that's okay, homie. You do you. I appreciate you no matter what kind of left-handed compliment you give me, so I love you, homie. Alright, guys, well, I am going to wrap it up here. That was a good stream. I feel like I got to talk about all the things I wanted to talk about. And I even went on a bonus review of... I even got to discuss me playing a extremely inappropriate video game that I've been enjoying. I don't know if Lettuce was in here while I was discussing it, but I'd be curious to know. Lettuce, have you played Monster Girl Island? Because that was a game that I was discussing today in my stream, and I don't know if you were in the chat log or not when I was discussing it, but you might like it. I don't know. I sure as hell enjoyed it, but anyways, I got to talk about a variety of subjects, and this was a good time, and it was fairly relaxing, and I just kind of wanted to keep you guys up to date and talk about all the things that were on my mind today, so I appreciate that. But I am going to say all the wonderful things. Oh, I didn't realize my stepmommy was still here. Well, thank you for being here, stepmommy. I love you. Thank you for being here. And Roxas says, please play more Pokemon on Discord. Well, I have to get to a point of where I need to grind, and then I'll do it. But the majority of my Pokemon gameplay will be on YouTube. But if I run into another grind fest, I promise that I will have to play it on Discord, because I don't like doing the grinding on YouTube. So there you go. That'll probably be the case. But I am going to wrap it up here, guys. I love chatting with you guys, but I do have to go. So I'm going to say all the wonderful things that I always say, which is, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because this channel's growing, guys. It's very cool how well it's growing, and I'm very proud of the work I've put into it, and all of you guys being here. Like, I'm proud of you guys. And doing all those things like liking, commenting, and subscribing, and ringing the notification bell if you haven't done the, subscribing and bell stuff already, I greatly appreciate it, because it helps me with the algorithm. It helps get my material out to more people, allows more people to come in and hang out with me and have a good time, which clearly we are. So thank you guys so much if you are doing that. If not, why? Do it now! Ah! I am also going to say a wonderful, wonderful shout out to my amazing Patreon members, which we've had quite a bit of them in the chat log today, which has been super cool. Thank you, Phone, for making that sound. I greatly appreciate it. So my wonderful Patreon members are Ya Boy Lettuce, Bo Falcon, Fajouk, James P, and Rebecca. And I love all my wonderful Patreon members because of my Patreon members, they were able to help me afford this camera that you guys are now seeing me through, which is a much higher quality. So join on my Patreon if you want to support the channel in a more monetary fashion and allow me to, constantly upgrade the channel, because I greatly appreciate that. There's also links down in the below description which have, you know, my Streamlabs PayPal link, which, you know, if I'm streaming, you can send me a Streamlabs PayPal donation, and it'll show up on the screen so that everybody knows that you're an amazing person who donated to me. And also, if you like it to be more discreet, I also have a regular PayPal down below, which you can use as well to be discreet or whatever. That's fine as well. And also check out my other links. And also, I have a P.O.Box, so if you want to send me mail, which I always open on stream, you can send me mail, and I will open it on stream. Because that's clearly what I just said twice in a row. So other than that, guys, I greatly appreciate you guys being here. And I will say the very last thing that I always do, which is follow your dreams, guys, okay? I'll see y'all later. You guys have a great night. Thanks for being here. Good night, guys. I'll see y'all later. Have a great night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. You're all wonderful.